Howdy y'all, JR Gamer here with another video just for you. If this is your first time here and you're looking for a relaxing space to evaluate gameplay, inspiration for your own projects, or a dose of daily awful dad jokes, don't forget to subscribe to the channel right now. And while you're at it, click on the bell to get notified when I upload more videos. Howdy folks, and welcome to episode number 4. Now, I did talk about in episode number 3 that I was going to do something different and try to kind of emulate something that Mike Sheets does, which is not do the time-lapse video, but actually just show the end product and explain what was going on and what was being done. And I thought about it, but when I looked at the time-lapse video that I had recorded, I figured this probably will be my last time-lapse video. It actually focuses on just one area of the park that I did, and it's something that I wanted to, that I can actually explain, and it actually looks pretty decent when you run it all the way through. So I decided that it was probably just best to take care of this time-lapse video, and then maybe at the next one, in episode 5, change the format and do something more similar to what Mike Sheets was doing or is doing, which is not necessarily showing time-lapse videos, but actually doing real-time and showing how the park has changed over time and what other new things he wants to do in the park, rather than a time-lapse video of what he already did. And I understand why, and he said it in one of his videos, was that he doesn't like how the sausage is made, how the product is being produced. And I understand. I feel the same way, because there's a lot of mistakes, a lot of things that are not that I would rather not you guys not see, because I'm not an expert at this, and I'm not very good at it. I do my best, but it just the perfectionist in me wants the time-lapse video to be perfect, and that you look at it and you go, wow, how can he create those things, which is what I do with, like, for example, Silverette or Geekus. I'm looking at them doing the time-lapse video, and they're like, it's like they don't make any mistakes. They're not whenever they take something out, it's not because it's a mistake, it's because they didn't like it, they didn't like the way it looked or whatever. When I do that, it's because I screwed up royally, and so that's how come I think Mike's way of doing things I enjoy a lot more for myself. For me doing it that way, me putting together the video that way, just because once you see the finished product, then all how the finished product was made it's not all that important. And most of you want to come see the park and how it works, and how things were put together in a park like that. And so that's my idea. That's what I think I'm going to do at the next episode, is try out the kind of real-time explanation, and you guys can see how much the park has grown since episode 4. As you can see, this is a queue. It's a queue to a new ride that I built. But what's interesting about this is I built the queue, I built the ride, I built the queue, and then I destroyed the ride. And just because I didn't like the way the ride looked, it was just not something that I was very happy with. And so I kept the queue, because the queue came out beautifully. I love the way the queue came out, but the ride itself was just not what I was looking for, or what I wanted to get. And so I kind of destroyed the ride and rebuilt it in a way that I actually enjoy. It's still not finished, but as far as the aesthetics of the ride are not finished. I haven't finished putting it together in the sense of putting together the different scenery for the ride, but the actual ride itself is finished. People can ride it, and they've been riding it in Planet Coaster in my Planet Coaster while I've been building. So the ride is finished, but um, the aesthetics of it is not. But this queue, I think, came out very well. I really liked the way it came out. I wanted people not to be in the sun the whole time, since this is Texas, and right now it's like 102 degrees outside in the summer, and so you need all the shade you can get. So I put together a queue so that people could be not in the sun the whole time, so that it'd be cool, for at least a time that they're in the long queue. And I figured this was going to be a long queue because I think this probably would be one of the most popular rides in the park. So I decided this queue to be more with the theme of being in the beach, kind of a beachy theme, kind of a open queue, not a closed queue like I did for the train station. Just kind of a canopy made of wood, and then basically open on the sides, let the breeze go through, and then just have a canopy to stop the sun from beating down on people. So that was kind of the idea of this queue, and in doing that, I also wanted to create those barriers between lines, and it's a cattle line for people, and so I just wanted to create a barrier between lines, and those pirate the pirate what they call rope fences actually worked very well and looked very good for the theme that I was going, which was kind of a beach water kind of theme that I wanted. And it kind of turned into something a little different than that. The name of the ride, and you'll see at the end, I called it the Gulf Coast Rapids. The idea is that this is a beach theme because we're on the Gulf Coast of Texas, but it didn't fit the theme because there wouldn't be any rapids on the beach. There'd be waves. But there wouldn't be any rapids. So eventually I changed the name of the ride, but at the end of the video you'll see how the name that I put was Gulf Coast Rapids, and it just didn't go with the theme of this area of the park. This area of the park would be the Texas Gulf Coast. So over where the train station is in episode 3 was West Texas, Southwest Texas. So on the opposite side of the park, on the east side of the park, would be the Texas Gulf Coast, and so the rides over here would be themed with the Texas Gulf Coast in mind, and the things that are found on the Texas Gulf Coast that you would see if you would go to different cities in the Gulf Coast of Texas. So that's kind of the idea of the themes of these rides, and I kind of put that into this ride as well, and that's where all of this, this sandy, beachy kind of front came from. Was we're in the Gulf Coast of Texas, and this is maybe a bay area, and if you see, you'll see when we come around, I put some umbrellas down for to show that you're on the beach. I created a path down there, but people really didn't seem to be wanting to go down there for some reason. So that was just kind of I didn't get it. The other part of the Texas Gulf Coast, I wanted to make it a little exciting, so and bring in some element of suspense to it. And so what I did is, you'll see at the end of the video that I put a shark right in the middle that comes out as people are walking up that queue, up that ladder, in that little bridge into the actual ride. And it was just kind of a suspense, something that people would see as they walk into the ride itself. Now I'm not. You can see the ride in the background. I don't want you to get a feeling that that's the actual ride ultimately, because it's not. I changed the ride significantly. I didn't like the way it was. I didn't like the way it rode. I didn't like the way it was looking. It didn't kind of fall with the aesthetics of the park. It took up a lot of space, and so I really didn't keep that ride. In a future episode, probably in the next episode where I go and do the in real life, the IRL episode, I'll show you the ride and how I changed it. Here it was just kind of one long stretch of ride going up, and then it came down and it did the splash, and then it went around and went up again, came down, and it kind of was boring, and it didn't lend itself to anything. The other one that I did, it has more aesthetic to it, and so that's kind of what I was going for in terms of the Texas Gulf Coast theme here. The only boat, since there wasn't any canoes or kayaks or kind of boats that you would actually see on the beach, this is the only boat that we have in Planet Coaster, so I used it as one of the props. And the idea here is that they're jumping into waves. First it was that it was a rapid, and so they were going to fall down a waterfall, or they were going through the rapids. But since we're on the Gulf Coast and that Gulf Rapids really didn't work with it, I turned it into they're jumping the waves, and that's why they're getting wet. And that was kind of the idea here, is that as they hit a wave, the water splashes towards them, and that's basically what's going on. I did put a water blanket, and you'll see in the future, I put a waterfall in front of them, more for aesthetics and view than for the theme of it. There really wouldn't be any waterfalls on the Gulf Coast. It's mostly sand and beach and ocean, but it looked really nice as a front wall to the queue, so I kind of kept it there. So that's kind of where we're at in terms of this queue. It wasn't very thematic. I didn't overly theme it. A lot of plants in terms of beach plants, that kind of stuff. So and that was pretty much it when it came to this queue. I did put those rocks in front because at the time it was going to be Gulf Coast Rapids. That's going to change. Like I said, the theme didn't kind of fit with the area, so I'm gonna I changed it, and there are no longer any rocks in front of the boat. It's more, like I said, they're riding the waves into the ocean, and that's basically what it's about now. I kept the waterfall just because it really actually did look very nice. I tried to do a waterfall with a little area with the water. For whatever reason, it didn't work. I wanted it to go underneath the path and people would walk over it, but it just didn't work. So I back off of it and just put down the waterfall itself with some rocks in front of it and some vegetation, and that's basically where it ended up. Another thing I want to talk to you about, and kind of going away from this, is that I've got other things that I'm working on here, and so I'll be releasing a couple of other things in the near future. Planet Zoo's coming out here in a couple months. In a couple of months. It comes out in November, I believe. And I'm really looking forward to it. I know that they're at Gamescom, and some people are going to get to play and put together stuff before anybody else. And I'm looking forward to seeing what can be created with that Planet Coaster stuff. So I'm looking forward to that. So I'll be working on some Planet Coaster themes as well. So I also am working on a Sims 4 themed sitcom that I'll have the season premiere in a couple of weeks. And this sitcom will be 25 to 30 minutes. It's using the Sims 4 platform and basically treating it as the platform for creating a sitcom with the Sims that I create being the main characters on that sitcom. So that's in the works, and putting together the production and what it's going to be like to put that together. So I hope you tune in to that first episode of that sitcom, and so that's kind of the idea. Is kind of two projects that I'm working on. I'm also a big fan of Madden and 2K and NBA Live. So Madden just came out, so I'm doing the career mode in Madden right now, and we'll be. I have put out a couple episodes on the career mode. We'll be putting out some episodes on franchise mode, so that based on a tournament that I'm in right now, where I'm one of the franchises. So I'll be putting out some of that franchise mode episodes for Madden 20, NBA 2K, 2K20 is coming out here soon. So I'll be putting out some videos on that as well. Like I said, this is not a how-to or a tutorial or anything like that. This is for you to check out the gameplay to see if you want to play the games that I'm playing. I play all these games, and people say I'm not a casual gamer. I don't take shortcuts. I play the game the way the game's supposed to be played. I grind it as much as I can in the time that I have to grind it. But I don't take any shortcuts. I don't pay for to go up levels to have a better character. No, I actually work through the gameplay in order to get to whatever level I get to. And sometimes I don't get to the highest level, either because I'm not very good at the game, or because I don't have the time to spend on the game. I don't spend the money to gain levels. I spend the money for like skins and stuff like that make the game look better, or for the DLCs to add content to the game. But I don't spend the money on increasing the level so that the game becomes easier for me. That's not what I do. There's a really good video by Echelon. I think it's Echelon. It's on my likes playlist that explains the difference between a casual gamer and a hardcore gamer. And he talks about how a hardcore gamer doesn't need to be somebody that plays a game 24/7. What a hardcore gamer is somebody that actually plays the game to its end. In other words, not using products or cheats or stuff like that to enhance its play before its time. So if you need to kill 50 enemies to get a particular level, or a particular perk in the game, you don't go buy the perk on the game store. You kill the 50 enemies. You grind the game until there. Even if you're grinding it an hour a day or an hour every other day, or you do it on a weekend because that's the time that you have. So that's how he talks about hardcore gamers. Yes, there's the hardcore gamers, the ones that play 24/7, that might be streaming 24/7 or stream for 11 hours a day. But there's a group of hardcore gamers that don't play the game as frequently, but their goal is to get better at the game through skill rather than through having the most money. Those are the ones he calls the casual gamer, which is the casual gamer is the one who doesn't play the game a whole lot, may not have the time to, but because they want to look better or because they don't want to go through the difficult part of having to actually play the game and get to those next levels, they pay the extra $100 or the $29.99 or the $9.99 for that one perk or two or three or four perks that increases the level of his character in order for him to be able to play the character at a higher level than he would if he was actually going through the progressions of the game itself. And so that I like that understanding, because that's the kind of gamer I am. Is I don't buy the levels. I'll buy aesthetics for the game. I'll buy the extra pack of 50 fences, for example, or I'll buy the DLC with the rocket ship in it. But I'll play the game itself, the management part of it, and all that stuff. So that not to win, basically, to win the game, but win it in a positive manner, in a manner where there's no extra, there's no way, the way it's supposed to be won, by grinding, the way everybody should be doing it. So that's the kind of person that I want here at this channel. I want you to feel comfortable knowing that you don't have to grind the game every day, 11 hours a day. That it's possible for you, like me, to do it at night for an hour or two and get a couple of levels up and beat maybe one or two bosses and then go to sleep, because you have another job. This is not your job. You do this for fun. And that's what I do, is I do this for fun. The gameplay, I'm not an expert, at putting together queues and rides and all that kind of stuff. But I like doing the work. It keeps me busy. It keeps me sane. It reduces the stress. I'm not stressed. I don't stress over it. And I want you guys to feel the same thing when you're going through these videos, as to, whoa, man, this guy isn't perfect, but hey, I mean, he likes what he's doing. That's what I want you to feel. That's what I want you to see in these videos is, this is not the most beautiful queue in the world. I mean, some of the slats are crooked, and the fence might be a little crooked, but for him it's beautiful. He enjoyed doing it. He enjoyed putting it together, and it looks nice, for the game, and that's kind of what the vibe and the process in this YouTube channel is about. Is for you to look at the game and see, well, is this something that I want to do? Do I want to spend this kind of time putting together a queue and making it look nice for the game and that kind of stuff? Is that what I want to do? Is this a game that I want to play? That's what I want to ask. I want you to ask yourself when you're looking at what I'm doing, because I'm not getting frustrated with this. I'm putting together the best park I can with the skills that I have. I've watched, hundreds of YouTube videos on different techniques and how to put things together. But ultimately, the final product is something that I enjoy. But more importantly, it's something that I'm doing in order to be able to basically create something that I want, that I like, in the time that it takes for me to do it. And that's ultimately what this is. So I want you to really understand that and realize that. That this is a channel for people who want to play the game the right way, be a hardcore gamer in the time that you have, and in the amount of time that you have, and the quality time that you can give the game, and not feel overwhelmed by those individuals that do this either for a living or do it because that's what they do every day. You know, that's what they want to do every day. So, you know, that's where I want you guys to understand. And so I play all of these variety games, like, you know, I'm playing Madden, NFL right now, and I've got Planet Coaster, and I do a little bit of PUBG, and I'm doing I'll be doing Planet Zoo and a couple of other games that are coming out. Breaking Point, not Call of Duty, Ghost Breaking Point is coming out here in October. I'll be playing that for a little while, and so, you know, and putting out, you know, the gameplay out there for you guys to see. I'm not an expert at Ghost. I played, you know, several of the other Ghost games before, but I'm not top notch. I'm not competitive level on it. I just enjoy the game. I enjoy the story, and that's what we'll be doing, is the story. So I want you guys to feel comfortable doing, you know, listening to me and at the same time looking at the gameplay and evaluating the game to see if it's something that you want to do, if it's something that you feel you have the time for, or it interests you, or you want to learn more about it. And that's what I'm going to ask for you to do in the comments, is to let me know if this is what you're looking for, if it's, you know, a pressure-free environment for your game, for you to watch some gameplay, to evaluate a game to see if you want to play it. I'm not going to tell you if the game is great or not. It's good for me. I'm not going to review the game with, you know, they should have done this or they should have done that, because I'm not that kind of an expert. I don't play the games to that level where I can tell whether something is correct or not. What I can tell you is I enjoyed it. It makes me feel good. It's a stress reliever for me at the end of the workday. I'll spend maybe an hour or two doing the work, and you know, if you are looking for that kind of a gameplay, if you're looking for that kind of a game, I'll definitely recommend a game like that. But I'm not going to review the game for what it's right or wrong. I'm gonna tell you. I'm going to let you evaluate it for yourself to see if it's something that you think you can play in the time that you have to play at the end of a day, or at the end on the weekend, or you know, a couple of hours a week, if that's all you have to do. If you need something, you know, I can tell you this game, is it a stress reliever? For me, it is. Having to deal with some of the details and placing, for example, placing the shark in the right spot, and making sure that the shark comes out at certain intervals, and making sure that the shark and the water splash are synchronized, and focusing on those details rather than focusing on the details of the game of the day relieves my stress. So at the time that I'm done with the game, I feel less compelled, or more compelled to do other things, and to feel a lot less stressed if I had a stressful day. And so that I can tell you. I can tell you that for me it's a stress reliever. That I enjoy it? Yes, I enjoyed it. I wouldn't be playing it if I didn't. I enjoyed the building. I enjoyed all the process that it takes in order to put together a queue and put together a roller coaster or a ride, and creating the creative side of it, creating the park. I really enjoyed it. I'm getting the park to a point where I can turn it into a scenario, and then I'm going to play the management side of this game, which is, can I get the park to be profitable? Can I get the park to get to all those levels of management and all those scenarios that are put out there? That's my next step with this Planet Coaster, is creating an aesthetically pleasing park for myself based on a theme that I enjoy. And then the next part will be to manage that park to a profitable level. So that's kind of where I'm at with all this. And I wanted you guys to know, A, about the things that I'm working on, B, about the change in the format that I'm going to use for this park. There'll still be some time lapses, but not that many. And then C, about what the channel is about, and
hopefully you enjoy it. On the comments below, let me know what you think. Let me know what you want in the channel. I do appreciate you guys watching this video. Hopefully you see episode 4 and the change that I'm going to make. I'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. If you like the content, click the like button below. Remember, if you're looking for a relaxing space to evaluate gameplay, inspiration for your own projects, or a dose of daily awful dad jokes, subscribe to the channel right now and click on the bell to get notified when I upload more videos. Until next time, adios.